the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit them notifications too, so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. They're not going to stop the movement no matter what they try to do. Okay, we're still going to get this out, and I'll wait for a few of y'all to get in here. And for those of y'all that make it late, just go ahead and play this back. Okay, this is a serious live, and it's in regards to what's to come, because a lot, if you don't know, I'm finna fill you in on what's about to happen, coming on in the near future. Okay, so like I said, I want to give a shout out to the whole entire Lions Den, both basketball as well as boxing communities. um, I also want to give a shout out to all of my subs that's been rocking with me, both my day ones and as well as my new subs. I thank you for the support and the growth of this channel. As I was saying earlier, I did have to step away from YouTube for a minute. That's why a lot of people haven't seen me for quite some time. I I go by straight now, straight to the point. You could just refer to me as straight. All of the guys, man, that's within the Lions Den, man, they still call me Polo. I would like to do away with Polo, but if you happen to just call me Polo, that's fine. But I'm trying to do away with that and trying to keep it straight to the point. And I know, guys, it's not intended for guys to be uh, crazy, or clowns or nothing like that. That's just who they know. They know me as, you know what I'm saying. But I would like to go as straight. But there's some people that call me Gristle Hardaway, because I was going by that name too. So all three is fine, but I'd rather go by straight to the point. You know what I'm saying. But either way is fine. I don't get offended by either of the three, as long as you don't call me no other names. Um, Sugar, I appreciate you being up in here. Now, I'll give it like I would say another 30 seconds to another minute, and then I'll go ahead and I'll let everybody know what's truly happening and what's going on, especially for my Sixers right now. I also want to let you know that I'm going to be dropping some more new content, not only on my Straight Sixers news channel, but I'm also going to be dropping some content on the fly fitness and nutrition. Okay, we definitely got to get our health together. Okay, we're losing a lot of, the benefit of that channel is so that we can, stay in shape, yes, but we also got to be, conscious in terms of our health too. Okay, we're losing a lot of our brothers and our sisters to, this, things such as the silent killer, like, high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Another one that's killing our community is diabetes, aside from the unnecessary violence that's taking place in our community too as well. Okay, um, but nevertheless, man, let me go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, make sure you hit the like button, and please get this out here. Please share this content. I want as many people to hear this as possible. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I do the live, so y'all could tap in, and also if you have any disagreements, then you could just holler at me. All right. What's up with it, Cypress? I see you in the building. Make sure you sub to the brother Cypress TV. Okay. All right. Now that we in here, man, let's go ahead and get serious for a moment. All right. I know at times, I play around, I joke around a lot, but this right here is really serious. Okay. Now, what we're going to be talking about is um, the off season. Okay, that's getting ready to take place in 24. Not only with my Sixers, but also I want to focus on a little bit of the Lakers too as well. But the reason why I do want to talk about the Sixers is because I've said this for a couple years now. I want to give a shout out to my brother from another mother, Greenleaf, representing Texas, H Town all day over there in Houston. Be sure to hit that like button, please. Get this out there. Share this, share this, share this, so that we can get this out in the algorithm. All right. Um, Yesterday I tuned into the brother Greenleaf, his channel. Definitely go sub to Greenleaf X exclusive. Okay, he's a Houston Rockets fan. He's from the city, you know what I'm saying, representing Texas all day. But he gets in depth as to what's going on with the Houston Rockets, and he brought up a few points yesterday. And the Houston Rockets, if you don't know, they're trailing only by I think like a half a game, if not a little bit less, and they have a chance to actually catch the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and they can actually be in the play-in, and the Warriors can be out between the Warriors and the Lakers, depending on how everything goes. Okay, the reason why I bring that up is because yesterday there were a couple of the fellas that was on the panel, and they brought up the fact of what players would be a good fit in that Houston system right now. Okay, we have to understand that there are several free agents names that are going to be free agents at the end of this year. Okay, I'm not going to get into those names just yet. I will in a minute. But one of these guys they brought up Embiid as them being a good fit for Houston. And I told Greenleaf, okay, if he's listening, I told Greenleaf, I said Embiid would not be a good fit for Houston for several reasons, okay? And I'm touching on this. Just stay with me, okay? I'm touching on this for a reason, okay? Um, the reason why Embiid would not be a good fit is for one, obviously it's his contract. Okay, I think one of the fellas they brought up a good point. His contract. Now, also we have to realize his injury history too. Okay, and if you know Ime Udoka, like Brown Sugar knows Ime Udoka, that coached the Celtics, he wants guys that are durable, especially if you're going to play in his system because he's a defensive coach. He's a defensive minded coach. If you look at the guys that he has on H Town right now, they are a young, scrappy team that can get up and down, and Embiid would not fit with them. Okay, because Embiid, as much as he scores and everything like that, his conditioning has always been a problem, and his durability has also been a problem, especially in the postseason. What's up with it, Matt Moses? I see you in the building, man. Make sure you go sub to Matt Moses. He's a Lakers fan as well as a 49ers fan, okay? Which I'm so disgusted by that organization right now, how y'all did Wilkes. But we're not talking football at this point in time. We're talking basketball, okay? Now, let's get to our cap space with the Sixers, okay? We have 136 million right now sitting in cap space, okay? It's clearly not enough space to make the moves that we want, all right? Embiid has got the largest, all right? He got the largest right now, sitting at 154. It's like 154 million 247 eight 814. Um, this year he's paid out, the 47 mil. Got 51 mil in 24-25. He's got 55 mil that he's owed in 25-26. Then he got 59 mil in 26-27. Some of y'all say, well, what's the problem with that, straight? The problem with that is that he's not, in my opinion, he's not deserving of that money at all. Okay, the only reason that you could probably give him that money is for the reason that, as far as individual wise, and we of course know that he had got that because of the MVP and everything. But as far as the team, one could argue that he's stealing money from us. Okay, because he hasn't been durable. Okay, I know he's been playing injured and everything, but let's just be honest. He hasn't gotten us past the second round, and that's why I said he would not be a good fit for H Town. Okay, he would be a terrible fit. Please hit the like button. Okay, please hit the like button when you come in here. Now he's going to be 33 and 34 years old. Okay, go ahead and move away from Embiid. Okay, that's going to clear out some space. However, there's another conundrum. You have Maxey, who is one of the free agents that's going to be up, one of the top free agents that's going to be up. He has a player option. Okay, Maxey, with what he's been doing, although he didn't play that good last night against the Suns, for what he's been doing, Maxey is deserving of that contract, because you got to remember when Maxey the previous season, they elected not to give him that contract. He was due for, it was for 4 years. It was going to be a 4 year, $142 million contract, if I'm not mistaken. Well, no, it was for 5 years. 5 years. I'm sorry. Right now, he's currently getting $4 million, which his production, he has showed clearly that he is the leader of this team. So why do I bring that up? Right? Stay with me. Get rid of Embiid, like I told you, right? Okay? You have Maxey, who is in his young 20s. You have one, two, three, four, five guys that are in their 30s, okay? And one that's getting ready to be 30 when you mention Cameron Payne. You need to get rid of Tobias Harris, okay, who's on the $39 million contract, right? That will clear out some space. All right. Well, I've already mentioned Embiid. All right, but it's going to be hard to match him unless you, and they're going to listen. A lot of teams. Well, the Sixers, they're definitely going to want a lot in place of Embiid or whatever, because they owe him so much money. Get rid of Nicholas Batum. He's on the $11 million. And on top of that, he's 35 years old. Okay. In my opinion, Harris does not deserve, he's not playing and living up to his contract of 39 mil. He's 31 years old. And although he is 31, he's an old 31. Okay. Right. Exactly. Cypress. He's been stealing money since he's been there. And a lot of people don't want to look at it because y'all are so blinded by Embiid. Okay, you'll look at Embiid and you're like, oh yeah, he's putting up 70 points, he's putting up 60 points and stuff like that. But then he gets to the playoff. What happens, Cypress? What happens, Brown Sugar? What happens, Matt Moses? Guess what happens? You can't depend on him. Okay, because he's either not 100%, and just like what's going on right now, he's got to play himself in shape. We're destined to lose anyways. So, like I said, just go ahead and move away from Embiid. But I'm not trying to get too emotional about the shit. I'm trying to look at it from a business aspect. You know what I'm saying? We got to get logical about this shit, right? Then you got Kyle Lowry. As much as I like Kyle Lowry, and he's been a locker room guy as well as a leader and everything, he's 37 years old. Okay, and this offense that's going to be catered to Maxey, it's going to be ran through him if we move it. If Maxey elects to stay, which I have no doubt in my mind he will, but he does want to get paid, and I know that Rich Paul is going to try to get him paid because he is with. Yeah, exactly. Build around Maxey. He's with Clutch Sports right now. Okay. Now we got Kai Jones. I would love to keep Kai Jones as long as he keeps his head together. All right. You want to keep Oubre. You want to keep KJ Martin. Reed is up in the air. Okay. As much as I like Reed, his production has not been good as of late, and he signed a contract too as well. And he kind of hasn't been living up to that contract. But the only reason I say keep Paul Reed is because of his age. Okay, he's still in his 20s. You got Cameron Payne, which I thought was it was an okay move, but for what we wanted and what we're looking for, that's not what I truly wanted. You got Doughton, you got Council, and you got Smith. Okay, you want to keep those guys because those guys are young, and if you do happen to make some moves, throw them in the package too as well, okay? But I definitely want to keep Kai Jones, and I want to keep a guy like Oubre, and I wouldn't mind keeping Reed, because the thing about with Reed, although he hasn't produced, he's durable. Another thing is we got to get, okay? You said build around Maxi and build around Paul Reed. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Cypress, okay? Let's check this out, right? Now, we got Buddy Hield, all right? And speaking of the free agent list, okay, I'm gonna give you a list of the free agents that are up, and two of them are actually three of them are Sixers, okay? You got Tyrese Maxey, who's gonna be a top. Everybody gonna try to get their hands on Maxey. I know y'all looking at Tyrese Maxey. Oh well, nah, just sweep him under the rug. No, Tyrese Maxey. A lot of teams would love to get a hold of Tyrese Maxey. He don't got no ego. You know what I'm saying? He's still green in terms of being able to be coached and stuff. He hasn't really turned into that savage to where you snaking people and everything, sort of like LeBron has turned into. You know what I'm saying? And he's a winner. Okay, he's a winner. He's gonna do everything at all costs. Last night he wasn't evident of showing it, at probably a little fatigue. Got Buddy Hield. I'm sorry about that. He's played decent for us. I wouldn't mind keeping Buddy Hield, but if we got to move him, we got to move him, because we need defense. We got LeBron, who's a free agent. You got Paul George, who's going to be a free agent, and I'm going to talk about him in a second. You got Harden. You got DeMar DeRozan. I think I mentioned Tobias Harris. Okay, you got Grayson Allen, who's with Phoenix. That's a free agent. You got KCP. Okay, over there with the Nuggets. He's going to be a free agent. You got Russell Westbrook. Okay, he's going to be a free agent. You got Holiday with the Boston Celtics. Sorry, Sugar Mama. You know what I'm saying? And you got Miles Bridges. Okay, you got Nick Claxton. You got Quickly. Another person that a lot of people, I know some people probably have lost some faith in him. I don't know why. D'Lo is going to be a free agent. All right. You got Malik Monk. You got Bruce Brown. And of course, you got Klay Thompson. Okay. You got all of those guys in which you could look at and you could say, okay, some of those guys, I would say with the exception of maybe a Bron, Harden, DeRozan, Klay Thompson, and maybe I would say even maybe a Russ to a certain extent. Some of those guys, you know what I'm saying, they're looking to get younger, and they're looking for better production. Now, I want to talk about Paul George for a second, okay? Out of everybody that I mentioned on this list, all right? Should we go after Paul George? I'm talking about if you're a Sixers fan. Paul George, all right? As much as I like Paul George, and as much as I like his defense, it's not what it once was, but he's still a solid defender, being that what he went through. If we get Paul George, okay, we're gonna need somebody else with Paul George. Right, yeah. And I was just getting ready to get to that, Cypress. I would like to have either a Claxton or a Miles Bridges type. And the reason why I want those type of players is because Miles Bridges for what we want to do, and you also got to realize that Miles Bridges, he played with Kai Jones the short period of time that he was there when they were in Charlotte or whatnot. Okay. I think they feed good off of each other. Miles Bridges is hella athletic, okay? Extremely athletic, okay? He can also play defense. A lot of people don't understand he could play the passing lane, and once he gets that ball out in the open floor, that's it. For what we are trying to do and trying to get up and down the floor right now, we need to match whatever the Nuggets are trying to do in terms of building. Look at how their team is constructed and built. You got you got some athletic guys on there, and you got some not so athletic guys on there when we talk about Jokic or whatever. But all of them can get you in double figures. The majority of them can rebound, and the majority of them can play both ends of the floor. And that's what we need to match. That's why I said you need to keep a guy like Oubre. You need to keep a guy, like a Paul Reed to a certain extent. And you add in a guy like a Paul George who's going to be a free agent, you might be looking at a potential Eastern Conference Finals. Now I'm not gonna go that far. That's why I kind of struggled with saying it. But you definitely want to get something in place of Embiid, and I think that if we replace Embiid, we got to get somebody who's durable, and that's my only question about Paul George because he missed some games this year. So that's that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that free agent list, and you got a lot of guys that could potentially be up for grabs. As much as I like Clay, I don't. Clay is he's older. He's older right now, and for what we're trying to do, we're trying to get some young guys. We need to completely rebuild. I know we have to start over again. Unfortunately, we don't started over multiple times, but in order for us to get to where we need to, we have to go ahead get off of that contract with Embiid, which is pretty much takes up the space, and go ahead and move on from Embiid. Okay. Um, has he been a great player? Yeah, he has. Has it equated to wins? No, it hasn't. And that's what we have to look at. Okay, I'm being serious about this. A lot of y'all that don't know, I do talk the business. Cypress knows this, but I talk the business side of basketball because it's extremely important. Okay, and a lot of people don't really see that. Listen, Daryl Morey, he's done a horrible job. Okay, he's done a horrible job. He's in disarray, and I don't like the stuff that Daryl Morey really brings to the table. Really, last year, what they should have did is they should have gave Maxi for the way that he played. They should have gave him that money, and they should have started building around him. No, we won't. Exactly, we won't. We won't win with him. Listen, I don't like Danny Ainge at all. Okay, I can't stand him. All right, I hated what he did to Isaiah Thomas. I think it was very savage. But Daryl Morey doesn't have that type of mentality that Danny Ainge has. Okay, you can be a savage and you could be a shrewd businessman, but you also got to be smart at the same time and know what you're doing too. Okay, and that was my only problem with Danny Ainge. I wouldn't have never had a problem with what Danny Ainge did to Isaiah Thomas if he had placed him in a better situation. We knew that his hip was messed up and he had a couple of other injuries. But what you want to do is place him in a better situation. It's kind of like what Minnesota did with Kevin Garnett when Kevin McHale was over there, and they were Celtics guys, and they was able to negotiate and do business. All you had to do was be a better negotiator in this situation. But you're right about that, Cypress. I agree with you 100%. As long as we have him, we will not win with him. Okay? And right now, everybody is screaming for you to go ahead and just move on from Embiid. We're not going nowhere. We're going to be stuck with Embiid if we stay up under his contract. We're going to be stuck with Embiid until 26, 27. They had a, they had a championship. Yeah, they had a championship squad, a potential championship squad. You know. And actually Isaiah Thomas was actually trying to get back on with the Celtics because he said he thinks that he could help them. Listen, Isaiah Thomas is still a beneficial player. You're talking about a guy that put up what 50 plus. I think he put up like 80 points or something like that in pro am. And I know some of y'all like, oh, that's just pro am. I want you to go ahead and go try to play in a pro am league. It's not no joke, man. It's not no joke. What's up with it, Ted? You're joining us late, man. Just go ahead and skip back. Let me go ahead and give you a review, okay? I don't know if you got the notification late, but I'm going to tell you what's going on, okay? What I'm basically talking about is we're talking about cap space, and I'm being serious in this one. We're talking about the business side of what's taking place with the Sixers, okay? You didn't get the notification. Yeah, I know. They hating, like always, but we're going to skate, like always, all right? Basically what I'm telling you. What's up with it, the real? I see you in here, man. Listen, what's taking place right now, okay? And for those of y'all that are just coming in, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a quick rundown and a quick review, okay? We're talking about contracts. We're talking about potential moves that can take place in the off season, and then I'm gonna get to the Sixers. I'm sorry about that. To the Lakers just a minute, okay? Now, what I was saying is that we need to move on from the Embiid era, okay? All right. And like I said, I was on Greenleaf's channel yesterday. Shout out to Greenleaf. Go sub to his channel. And a couple of the fellas on there were talking about the Rockets. All right. What I was saying about the Rockets is that Embiid would not be a good fit for what Udoka is trying to run. Okay, because a couple of the fellas said, Embiid would be a good fit. But the reason why Embiid is not a good fit, for one, you got to look at the contract. Okay, Embiid is on a $154 million dollar contract. Okay, and then on top of that, he's going to be owed with us with the Sixers. He's going if they go ahead and they get rid of Embiid, you still got to pay him out until 26 and 27. Okay, and what I said is you got to pay him. Of course, you got to pay him 47 mil this year, 51 next year, 55 and 25, 26, and 59 mil in 26 and 27. Okay, we only have $136 million. I'm talking about the Sixers of cap space. So what was I saying? The real and Ted, everybody else that's up in here, you have to move some of those players in order for us to make room. But it's not going to be that easy. You know why? Because you have Maxey, who really should have gotten that contract last year. Like I said, he should have got that 5 year, 142 mil. But Maury and them, they did not give it to him. His production was good enough, and he was durable too. He played. You had a guy in Harden who stunk it up, okay, and then you had a guy in Embiid who wasn't even healthy. You know what I'm saying? No knock to him. He had the orbital bone situation, but still, you got to be durable. Like I said, Doka doesn't want a guy that's not durable, and a guy that you can't use, and a guy that you can't rely upon. And that's what you're getting with Embiid, and that's what he's done for us. So I want to get rid of Embiid. I want to go ahead and move away from him because we need to build around Maxey. He's still young. Embiid is 30. Y'all act like Embiid is it got a whole bunch of years left. By the time he's done, at the end of his contract, he's gonna be 34 years old, and his body is breaking down as you see. Okay, you said Rockets would add veterans. Right, but see what Greenleaf was saying yesterday, and so I think I want to say Atlantean. What they brought up some good points. They're trying to stick with the core that they got. You don't want to mess up that core, especially when you got Jalen Green. Okay, I know all that stuff went on with him, the whole fruity stuff, and he got that stuff going on with Drea Mitchell and all that other stuff. But hey, newsflash: the Houston Rockets are about to catch the Warriors to be in the play-in, and these guys are catching momentum. These guys, if they run into a team like a Lakers, or if they run into a team, an older team, they will run that team out of the building. I hope you know that. Where would be a good team for Embiid if y'all trade him? I'm gonna be honest with you, the real. I was just talking about that too. The best fit for Embiid right now, and it would probably be an older team. He would have to go to an older team. So if you look at a team like maybe a Golden State, you know what I'm saying? If you look at a team like maybe even the Clippers, because we were trying to go after Paul George, but I said if you go after Paul George, you're gonna have some other guys with Paul George because you're dealing with the same thing with Paul George. You can't rely on him in the playoffs, okay? And then on top of that, he tends to get hurt from time to time. So really, honestly, man, you that probably would not be a real great fit for Embiid. Now, if you're trying to sell tickets or you're just trying to watch this guy play, you know, and watch him score points and everything like that, hey, that's fine. But we're trying to win. We have, other teams that's doing business and stuff. They got expectations on the table. They're not just trying to bring this guy in there and then be bounced out in the second round, the furthest that Embiid has went. Yeah, Paul George is getting older, and his body is older too. Listen, after that injury that he suffered in the Olympics, don't get me wrong. I never thought that Paul George. I never thought that Paul George was even going to walk again. But the fact that he's even running again up the court, that's a blessing. However, he's had other injuries since then too as well. Okay, basketball wise, he might in terms of his age, he might be young, but basketball wise, he's older. That's just the same thing with Tobias Harris. And what I was saying to Real and Matt Moses and Ted and everybody that just came up in here, I wanted to get rid of the following people so that we could clear out some space and get some youth on our team. All right. The guys that I want to get rid of, I want to get rid of Mo Bamba. I want to get rid of Harris. He's on the 39 mil and he's 31. Okay. We got 4 to 5 guys that are 30 right now. Cameron Payne, he's 30. He's 29 right now. He'll be 30. You got Mike Lowry. You know what I'm saying? You got Kyle Lowry. He's 37. You got Nicholas Batum, who's 35. You got Embiid, of course, he's 30, and you got Harris that's 31. We need to get rid of those older guys. The reason why I said Bamba is because Mo Bamba brings us no production at all. You said Miles, yeah, he would, and that's what I wanted to tell the Real too that just came up in here. If you get Miles Bridges on with the Sixers, okay, and I want to keep Kai Jones, okay, who I always like Kai Jones. I know he had his issues or whatever. Both of them had issues. Miles Bridges had his issues, but that case was thrown out because of that line woman that was trying to get the bag or whatever. You had Kyle Jones, he had his issues. Oubre had his issues, not no crime issues or nothing like that, but he was in a car accident. Okay, but if you get Kai Jones and you get Miles Bridges together, and you get Kelly Oubre together along with Maxi, now we're pushing the pace that we want. You got guys that can get up the floor. Okay, you got guys that can get up and down the floor that can defend because Miles Bridges is a slept-on defender and he's out athletic. Once he gets out in the open floor, you might as well forget it. He's like Anthony Edwards out in the open floor. You might as well forget it. You got a guy, running like a 4-3-4-4. You might as well forget it. Okay, yeah, exactly. You said Miles Bridges, yeah. Because what you don't know about Miles Bridges, you said Pandemic P, way off P, playoff P, whatever the hell you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? Paul George is still my guy, man, but you just can't depend on him. He at one point I thought he was the second coming of T Mac, the way he was playing there. He played against Bron. But what I was saying, good point, the Real. See, if you get a guy in Maxi along with Miles Bridges, what's slept on about Maxi is the fact that he is a very good passer. He will find your ass. But Maxi can also score too as well. I've seen him in person. Maxey can get through the teeth of the defense, can either finish, he could bang on your ass, or he could throw that lob. If you're supremely athletic, like a guy like Giannis or whatever, and can catch and finish. Okay, so and Miles Bridges can do all of that. You could throw it anywhere with Miles Bridges. He'll catch that motherfucker back, cock it back, and it's over with. You cooking with grease. Now, what I wanted to say is, like with the free agent list, if y'all don't know who are the free agents, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move to the Lakers or whatever. We got what, 3 guys on our team that are gonna be up for free agency among this list. Okay, like I said, you got Tobias Harris. I wanted to get rid of him. He's up for free agency. You got Maxey and you got Buddy Hield, who's up for free agents. The other guys that are on this list for free agents, the top free agents that I saw, of course, you got LeBron. We don't know what LeBron is going to do there. They're speculating that he's going to do the 100 mil and everything, but I'm going to talk about that situation in just a second. Okay, you got Paul George. Everybody, regardless of everybody how the way they feel about Paul George, there are teams that still want him. You got James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Grayson Allen, KCP, Russell Westbrook, Buddy Hield. I think I forgot to mention him, but I think I mentioned him earlier. You got Drew Holiday. He's up for free agency. Miles Bridges, already talked about him. Nicholas Claxton. You got Emmanuel Quickley, another guy that I would have wanted him, because what do y'all know about Emmanuel Quickley? He was a back running mate with Maxey. They played so great together at Kentucky. You know, that's another guy. And Quickley, I mean, it fits his name perfectly. That's how he plays. You got D'Lo. He's going to be up for free agency. You also got Monk, and you got Bruce Brown. And then you got Klay Thompson. You said Maxey is a sharpshooter. Absolutely. Bobo. But no, I don't want see Bobo. We got to stop. See, Ted, Bobo. I don't want Bobo as much as I like Bobo. He was supposed to be the Wemby. He was supposed to be what Wembanyama. What separates a guy like Bobo and Wembanyama has gotten hurt this season a couple of times, right? Guess what Cypress knows about Wembanyama over there with the Spurs? Wembanyama will tie his shoe back up and get the fuck back on there. That dude is built different, and everybody wants to talk about he's overrated. Man, you better get up out of here. Wembanyama is a whole nother beast. Yeah, the record doesn't reflect it because they've only won 13 games or something like that. But he's got a lot of potential. You got to think about it. And everybody wants to talk about all this record bullshit, you know what I'm saying, in the rookie year and stuff like that. Listen, Kevin Durant was 20-62 when he first came into the league. He was rookie of the year when I think in 2008 when he came in, and they missed the playoffs. Okay, then you had LeBron James. Okay, everybody wants to, oh man, LeBron. Well, guess what? Carmelo Anthony and D Wade, they made the playoffs. And LeBron James' record was 34 and 57, and he won Rookie of the Year. But meanwhile, you had Carmelo Anthony and D Wade winning, going into the playoffs. And on top of that, D Wade won the championship first. You said Oubre, a good defender, he could give you 15 night double machine. That's fact, Cypress. Well, yeah, the real, you bring up a good point. You said Wemby. Yeah, y'all are right. Y'all are right. That's something that Pop is going to work on. Okay, they're still a young team. Okay, listen, when you got a guy who's up for not only Rookie of the Year but also Defensive Player of the Year award. There's going to be some people that are kind of jealous about that. That's all they talk about is Wemby. Wemby is a phenomenon. Man, you got a guy at 7'4" that can move better than half of the guards in the league out on the perimeter. Okay, you think Giannis can guard all 5 positions. Hell, Wemby can. Y'all think Wemby is all clumsy and slow and all that other stuff? No, he's not. The way he recovers on defense, go look at him. Y'all are so blinded by, some of these people are so blinded by the record and everything. And I just laugh at that shit. All right, man, look, let's go ahead and let's get to the real, man. Shout out to the real. The real, the truth. All right, look, man. We got to talk about the Lakers, right? Shout out to the brother Chilltown Hoops, all right? Go sub to the OG Chilltown Hoops, all right? Very, very good channel. And he not only breaks down the business side, he's going to break down the X's and O's. He's also going to break down the science fundamentally of basketball, and also going to bring logic to the table, okay? What you have to understand, man, is that Bron, since he's been in LA, his success rate has not been great, with the exception of that chip. I'm not going to call it no bubble ring, because I'm not into playing around right at this moment with that shit. All right, but some people don't respect it, but nevertheless they still hoisted the trophy. All right. Since that time, all right, we have to understand. Okay, he missed the playoffs the first season in 18 when they were in 18 and 19, right? They got the chip in the pandemic. They want to call Paul George Pandemic P. Well, they they might as well call it a pandemic champion. That's what they call him or whatever. I don't call him that, but that's what everybody sees it as. Then the very next year, they lost. Okay, they lost in the semis. All right, and then they missed the playoffs in 21 and 22, and then they got swept last year, okay, by the Nuggets, who eventually went on to become the champions. If they do not make the playoffs, or they get bounced out of the playoffs this year, this era with LeBron, they'll be 3-5 in terms of what they've done in the playoffs and their success rate with only one chip. Do y'all see that as successful? Yeah, he brought one chip, but ever since then it's been a circus show. Okay, people have been complaining, and then another thing that a lot of people been pointing out, but it took a guy in Paul Pierce to really put things in perspective on a national stage and really tell everybody, is that he's taken away more from his teammates than actually benefiting the Lakers. Okay? And the Lakers, if you know the Lakers, if you're a Lakers fan, they're not trying to continue going like this. Okay? Because it's gotten them nowhere. If they miss the playoffs this year, I want you to understand that. If they miss the playoffs this year, okay, that is going to be very bad, man. That's going to be bad. Okay, so what I'm saying is it would be time to go ahead and move on. Can you really seriously, if he's talking about, besides the money, besides him generating a whole bunch of sales and him generating, a lot of cachet, bringing in popularity, all that other jazz, you know what I'm saying? Helping the bars and helping everything else. Do you want to stick with a guy like LeBron for several more seasons until he's 42 years old? $100 million. Do you really want to do that? Only to be promised, okay, Lakers are going to win and all this other stuff, but it's still going to be the same thing, because with the players that y'all have, yes, y'all have the players to win it, but you have guys on there that are playing on eggshells whenever he's on the floor. Adam Silver are going to make sure that they make the play in. Well, I got news for you, Cyprus. You have a guy in Joe Dumars who is really trying. He's really getting in the ear of Adam Silver, and I think Joe Dumars is really trying to change all of that. You know what I'm saying? You can see the players that are playing. Look at Zion Williamson, the way that he's been playing, man. Zion 25 pounds he done lost, and playing like a bona fide, ready to take over the league type of superstar. Okay, ever since he's lost that weight, ever since he played horrible against the Lakers last season. Okay, you have to put that into perspective. And why is that? Because he done implemented that 65 game rule. Okay, that's part of the reason. And then on top of that, the CBA, they've made some changes, to the collective bargaining. We're not trying to see nobody. Listen, Cypress, they're trying to put a good product on the floor. We're not talking about just okay. No knock to any of these other teams. You know what I'm saying? But people would rather see the Lakers, unfortunately, than they would rather see OKC. However, that dynamic is starting to shift because people are starting to take notice of the OKCs. They're starting to take notice of the Orlandos. They're starting to take notice of the New Orleans Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? But people want to see the Lakers because of a brand. Me, I don't feel that way. Man, if you get the fuck up out of here, you just bounce. I'll holler at you. Let's pay attention to SGA and Chet Holmgren. Let's pay attention to Cole Anthony. You know what I'm saying? And hold on, y'all. And Bashur. You know what I'm saying? Paleo and Paleo. Let's pay attention to Indiana. Although they've been struggling and everything, and Halliburton, he's only been shooting 13%. People want to see variety. And what you're gonna get is the same old year. Okay, you're talking about Cypress. You're talking about putting him into the play-in and everything like that. Oh, what? Only to lose? And people aren't trying to see that, and that's why guys like Paul Pierce, like Charles Barkley, they're trying to say, look, nobody's really talking about them like that. You know what I'm saying? You want to seriously put a guy in there, you know what I'm saying, who is a dinosaur in comparison to a guy like Anthony Edwards. Yeah, but you can only do so much. You can only do so much, man. You can only do so much. And listen, it's going to come a time where, they're going to have to overthrow him. They're going to have to overthrow him. Um, Listen, man. If he was, listen, I've said this time and time again, and I don't mean to be repetitive with this. However, we got to look at it like this. If he was 39 years old, okay, and I've seen quite a few between them ages of 30, 30, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. If he was around them ages, right? And like Paul Pierce was saying, like a couple of even myself, I've said this before Paul Pierce has said it. If he was averaging, anywhere from about, like 20 points or something like that, of course, get an assist here and there. But more importantly, he was actually being a leader, coaching guys and stuff like that, pulling them to a side, being that general, even stepping aside for a little bit, let them go through their growing pains and stuff like that, because with young players, they're gonna make their mistakes. If he was doing that, I guarantee you the team would be much better, because for them to sit up here and blame a guy like Darvin Ham, it's been unfair, and I've said that. You even have some Lakers fans that are saying, get rid of Darvin Ham. Why would you do that? That's not going to help. That's not going to help you, because then you got to go through a whole nother coach. You got to go through the growing pains of that. And on top of that, you got to adapt to a whole nother philosophy. You talking about getting rid of D'Lo and all this other stuff. That's not going to help. That's not going to help at all. That doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. What people are doing is they're being prisoners of the moment. Okay, they see a guy like Darvin Ham, and they want to use him as a scapegoat. They see a guy like Anthony Davis, they want to use him as a scapegoat. And listen, for all the hell that Anthony Davis has taken, I'm gonna be real with you about something, right? Let's just be honest. Before he had got hurt in the bubble and everything, Anthony Davis was playing like the MVP. One could argue he had an argument for the MVP. Okay, and Anthony Davis has played. He's played great this season, with the exception of him running up against the Kings. Yeah, he had a case for MVP. There was even people saying that Rajon Rondo had a case for MVP. I know his numbers weren't, oh wow, or nothing like that, but it was the stuff that he was doing. Andre Iguodala, his numbers didn't jump out at you when he won Finals MVP, you know, but it was his impact. Kawhi Leonard, his numbers didn't jump out at you when he won Finals MVP. Right, exactly. They're not real Lakers fans. They're LeBron fans, and they want to come over there and they want to be fanatics and fanboys, acting like they know Lakers culture. Now I'm not a Lakers fan. Now on some of the teams I got favorite players. Like I if you go down the list and you go the real if you go and you go ask a like let's say they're just a hardcore LeBron fan or something like that, right? And you go ask them, okay, do you pay attention to any other team? And you go ask, okay, so who was your favorite player back in the days, with the Celtics or something like that? They wouldn't be able to tell you. Not over here, not me. If you ask me who my favorite Lakers player of all time, I'm not gonna say no silly ass answer, some obvious answer like, "Oh, Kobe Bryant." Everybody knows who the fuck he is. No, I actually paid attention to them playing. I'm gonna tell you Michael Cooper. If Sugar Mama, she asked me one time, "Who's your favorite player on the Celtics?" I'm gonna tell you Dennis Johnson. Okay, and there's a reason why I told you that. If you ask me who was your favorite Heat player, I'm gonna tell you a guy. Of course, like D Wade. I like D Wade as much as I liked him and everything, but I like the great Tim Hardaway. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing for each other team. I'll tell you. I used to like Latrell Sprewell with the Golden State Warriors. I'm not gonna just say Klay Thompson, but that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to diversify, and they don't do that. They come over there with that fanboyism, and I don't have a problem with you liking LeBron, but you have to understand that it's going to mess up Lakers culture. So I really don't see. To be honest with you, if Bronny doesn't make the league, I don't see LeBron staying. Okay, and I know many of the hardcore Lakers fans, they're ready for him to go. Bronny is clearly not ready. Okay, it's no knock on him at all. You said Austin Reeves is my favorite player on the Lakers. I don't have a problem with that. I like Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is he's a hard player. Does he make some mistakes? Absolutely, he's supposed to. Austin Reeves has been put in a situation where he probably like, man, I didn't ask for this shit. I didn't ask for this shit. What's up with it, Mike? I see you in the building. He was a lot of these guys are placed in a situation where they didn't ask for none of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like their growth got stunted. It's the same thing that happened with both Kyle Kuzma and Lonzo Ball, for an example. Let's just break that down, right? But before LeBron had came and started playing with Kyle Kuzma, you do know that Kyle Kuzma was hooping. They won the tournament, the summer league tournament. Him and Lonzo Ball, they were balling. Okay, but it was like once LeBron had came or whatever, he couldn't play the same way. Kyle Kuzma used to be able to hoop. Now You don't barely hear about Kyle Kuzma like that, except for headlines concerning females or wearing that little pink bubblegum dress or some bullshit. Right, Mo Williams was always hooping with with the Cavs. But what I'm saying is that okay, you look at a guy like Austin Reeves and stuff like that. I know people were fans of the moment, calling him the great white hype and all that other stuff. But Austin Reeves can hoop, man. Austin Reeves is a baller. I would love to have him in a guy like that in Philly, man. If y'all don't want him, you appreciate a guy, and that's what we do in Philly. We appreciate hard workers and stuff like that. You said Bryce James is gonna be a great player with the last name James. Yeah, exactly. I've been telling people that. Listen. Meanwhile, y'all talking about Bronny James, right? Y'all talking about Bronny James, and we gonna go ahead and go off the subject and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Cypress know I'm random than a motherfucker. Ted know I'm random than a motherfucker. The real know I'm random than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Mike know I'm random than a motherfucker. Of course, the queen of the building, Sugar know I'm random than a motherfucker. But when we talk about Bryce James, right? Listen, you talking all this hype about, concerning Bronny and stuff. It's no knock on Bronny, okay? The kid, man, the young man could have lost his life, but the higher power chose otherwise. You're talking about all this USC, you're showing them on TV and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, they're getting blown out. They're losing and stuff. Meanwhile, you got a guy in Bryce who's already getting ready to be 6'8", okay, who's already ranked 20. I think it was like last time I checked, he was like 24th in the nation. Okay, and you're building a Frankenstein. He's not even in a senior year yet. Do you imagine he could grow another 2 inches and be 6'10", move? You know what I'm saying? Does he have some things that he got to work on? Yeah, because when he played against a couple of the young boys in the tournament, you know what I'm saying? But Bryce James, I think, will be more of an NBA ready player than what Bronny will coming out. You know what I'm saying? And plus, he ain't got all the expectations like Bronny does until they start putting him under the limelight. Yeah, Bryson Wimby on the spread. Well, we gotta wait for a little bit. You gotta wait for a little bit because he got one more year. I think he's talking about committing to Ohio State. But I think it would be great because you got to think about it. He had the chance to shit. I'm not gonna say it. I wouldn't be surprised if Bryce would grow up to possibly be 6'11". He might hit another maybe two growth spurt because he's 6'7", 6'8" right now. Get up in that bitch, be like 6'9", already athletic, can block shots. But I like Cooper Flag for Duke. I think but he gotta show up though. He gotta show up in big games. You can't be on the bench because of foul trouble in these games, and that's what the tournament. I would like to see a guy like a Cam Jones. I was telling the brother Greenleaf yesterday. I think that's a person that you want on your team, like that's fresh, young, coming out of college. A guy like Cam Jones coming from Marquette to be able to run in Ime Udoka's system. You think 7'2"? Maybe so, man. If he's 7'2", whoo, that would that Rick Fox he was underappreciated, very appreciated. I know about that. Rick Fox was a very see. That's the type of player that you needed. Let me ask y'all a question though. I know y'all always asking me questions. I know that the Lakers, they always talk about Kobe and Shaq. Let's just focus on the three-peat era Lakers, right? Who do y'all think was the third best player on that team, in your opinion? You got Kobe, you got Shaq, but who was the third best player? Okay, because they didn't have a big three, they only had a dynamic duo. I want to hear it from y'all. Who was the third best player on that team? That's a question that they never really ask. You think it was Derek Fisher? Oh, okay. You rocking with Derek Fisher's? Some people say Robert Horry. Some people say Rick Fox. So you think it was Derek Fisher, huh? You know, because and I'm talking about the guys that were more consistent. You know, that were always with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Not, that not they'll be there one day and then next thing you know, they'll be gone the next year. I only got Ted so far. I see 7 of y'all in here. I would have to go if and I know some people they'll trip out when I say this. I guess it's me being biased or whatever. You said Derek Fisher was the glue. He was clutch. He ran the triangle. Yeah, he knew how to run. He knew how to run the triangle. He did. Now he didn't. He wasn't a great teacher of it. When he got to New York, he wasn't really a great teacher of the triangle with what Phil was trying to do. That's why he was too busy. He was too busy worried about getting in the upside down. So you say Rick Fox, huh? Cypress. Yeah, Gary. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, man. The triangle is some people pick it up really quick. Um, Phil Jackson said that for all the hell that Dennis Rodman got and all the shit that they talked about Dennis Rodman, he parties too much and stuff like that. He said he was the quickest. He picked up the triangle the quickest, while everybody struggled with it. You know, that's why like on this channel, man, I pay attention to the behind the scenes too. Everybody just goes by media stuff that's going on and stuff like that. Now you got to get behind the scenes. What they won't tell you about a guy like Dennis Rodman, I know Cypress be tripping out. Why I got him over a guy like Tim Duncan or whatever. But one of the other things that I meant to tell Cypress too is the fact of how intelligent Dennis Rodman was. Yeah, Melo couldn't figure out the triangle. He had to go to Kobe and ask for advice how to learn the triangle. He said he was up in there studying in his room how to get the triangle down. No, he couldn't. He couldn't, man. And I like Carmelo Anthony. He was my favorite player at one point. After okay, it went like this, right? It was like of course, Jordan. Okay, he was my favorite, player to watch. And then as Jordan started to diminish a little bit, then it was between AI and it was Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Used to like to watch them, but more so AI. And then as they started to fade a little bit, you know what I'm saying? At one time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was watching LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? When he first came in, I was there with my popcorn and everything because I was the one telling people about LeBron James. Okay, I told people about him, but people didn't believe me. And the reason why I knew about LeBron James, I had a best friend. He was living on the East Coast. I was here in Texas or whatever, and he was like, "Man, yeah, man, they calling this guy the new truth. He gonna be the next Jordan and all this other stuff." I'm like, "Shut up, man." I'm up in here. Yeah, right, man. I paid attention. They had to do games on pay-per-view, and I'd never seen no shit like that before. I like, man, all right, I'm gonna check them out, man. And I remember I checked them out on TV. Everybody, it was me and a couple friends, man. We was we was like 2 years removed out of high school and everything, and we watched him play Modern Day with DJ Strawberry. That's the game that I saw him. It was on TV. They was building up hype over this dude and everything. And I was like, man, this dude ain't gonna make it. Everybody was like, nah, he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it or whatever. But then I saw him at another camp, and he dominated the camp or whatever. And I seen a few highlights of him, East Bay funkin' and all that bullshit. And then I saw everybody was anticipating when he played the Kings, the very first game, and I was just waiting. I was waiting on. I was like, yeah, right. This dude gonna mess up everything. Nope, he didn't do it. He actually played pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I remember Ricky Davis giving him the the ball and stuff, you know what I'm saying, and capitalizing and all that, you know what I'm saying? I think he had 25 the first night and everything. I was like, nah, this dude gonna be a force to reckon with. That was when LeBron was green. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know, he was before he had turned into, the snake and the savage. Played live my freshman year at local high school versus William Buford. Oh, okay, I remember William Buford. You said Melo trained with Jordan to understand the triangle. Yeah, because Melo was with Jordan Brand. But then I watched a little bit of LeBron. But then who sold me really coming out of that '03 draft? Surprisingly, because I started, I was a Melo fan because he had won his freshman year at Syracuse. And I'm like, damn, you got a freshman taking the Orangeman to the national title and everything. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I like this dude. And then I started paying attention to D Wade because I saw him in the tournament too. I was like, man, I like these guys. How come they not talking about these guys? They just talking about LeBron all the time or whatever. And then LeBron didn't make the playoffs, so I started paying attention because I pay attention. I'm not one of them guys, just one player didn't cut the TV off. I I paid attention to Melo and I paid attention to D Wade. And that's when like D Wade, nah, man, well, I think I don't know how that would have turned out, man. But I think it probably would have turned out better for Melo because you got to think about it. He probably would have had a ring. He probably would have had a ring because the Pistons won in '04. He probably would have had a ring. Now they probably would have been like something like Steven Jackson when he got a ring with the Spurs and all that. Um but Steven Jackson was contributing on that Spurs championship. Yeah, he would have got a ring. That nigga would have got a ring, man. Man, that was like, to me, man, and I like Joe Dumars, man, but that was one of the worst mistakes. I know people killed Joe Dumars for that, man, but, Joe Dumars is making up for it, and Joe Dumars is an intelligent guy, man, but, yeah, he messed up on that one. He messed up on that one, man. Yeah, he really messed up on that Darko. Now you don't even know where he's at. I don't even know what Darko is doing. You know what Melo doing. You know what Bron doing. You know what Wade doing. You ain't even heard from him. You don't know what he's doing. Yeah, And look what happened. And then what really made me start paying attention to D Wade, and look, man, all that stuff he doing with painting his fingernails and all that other stuff, man. Listen. That's what he do. Am I disappointed about that stuff? Yeah, a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think it was Gabrielle Union that kind of made this guy start acting the way that he acting. I'm gonna just be real. But when he won, but see, thing about it is there was this guy on shout out to Two Raw for TV. There's this guy on the channel. He was telling me, oh yeah, well, LeBron's coaches never won anything before him or whatever. Okay, if you're gonna go by that logic, LeBron never won any championship before he got with D Wade. D Wade was the one with the chip. It's like you sit up there and you're like, oh yeah, he never won anything. I mean, the coaches never won anything, but you gotta also realize that Brown, Mike Brown had 260-win seasons with LeBron. Still was ended up losing his job. What's his name? David Blatt made it to the finals, and then he made it to the finals. They did. Unfortunately, they didn't win. Um, they made it to the finals in '07 too. You know what I'm saying? They made it to the finals in '07. And then what's it called? Was let go. Darko was let go. You know what I'm saying? Even after having, I think, 50-something wins. Yeah, man. So you gotta put things in perspective before you sit up there and you say, oh yeah, his coaches never won anything. They were on the verge of winning. They were on the verge of winning, man. But yeah, man. Besides that, man, I'm not gonna hold everybody, man. I just wanted to talk. Yeah, LeBron. Listen, if he would have, it's been what? It'll be nine coaches. If he would have got rid of Darvin Ham, it would have been 9 coaches on 3 different franchises. Okay, with the exception of Eric Spoelstra and Ty Lue. That's a lot of coaches, man. That's a lot of coaches. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna hold everybody, man. I just wanted to get on here, talk my issue a little bit. I thank y'all for tuning in, man. Hopefully y'all picked up something. Yeah, 9 coaches in 21 years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I thought it was 8. I thought what's the name would have been 9, but I guess maybe I miscounted or whatever. But if it would have been Darvin Ham, but nah, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications so that you are notified. Want to give a shout out to the whole Lions Den, both basketball as well as boxing community. And I appreciate y'all tuning in, all of my subs, both my new and my day ones. Until then, straight to the point, sports and entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all later.